Saphan Taksin. I'm at Saphan Taksin, our quick Thai lesson. Saphan is the Thai word for bridge, and Taksin is the name of the king, King Thaksin. So this is King Thaksin's bridge. Saphan Taksin BTS station, and it's quite a remarkable feat of engineering because it's built over a klong. So early in the Chakri dynasty, so I'm talking around the King Rama 1, 2, 3, 4, around those times, there was the tendency to dig and build a lot of canals, and including King Thaksin. However, when it got to King Rama 5 and after that, the common practice was to build over the klongs and the canals and cover them over and make roads. So there's actually a lot of roads around Bangkok nowadays in the 2020s that were actually built over klongs. So this here is a remarkable feat. We're right next to the Chao Phraya River, and it's a BTS station over the klong, but they haven't blocked in, they haven't filled in the klong, and the klong still exists in some form. So right beside Saphan Taksin BTS station is Thakson Park, and unfortunately it is closed. So I've made my way here to talk about King Thaksin and talk about his park and talk about the King Thaksin Memorial Bridge, but I ain't going to be able to get into that park to do such, to comment on it. Now, just to get your bearings, you'll see a very famous landmark, the Ghost Tower. This was a project that was close to being completed. It's the State Tower, and it was close to being completed, and then the financial crisis occurred, the Asian financial crisis. So it never actually got completed. There are a few adventurous people who've actually been up there, but I'm not that much of a risk taker. But it's actually quite a striking building. You can see this. This is one of those landmarks that no matter where you are in Bangkok, you think, where the hell am I? You can always look up and try and find this tower, the Ghost Tower, or look for Mahanakhon Tower as well. That'll help you get your bearings. Needless to say, being this close to the river, they have a lot of flooding problems, and the klong just sneaks up here. So you'll see a lot of sandbags around this area. So King Thaksin's story starts where we need to talk about Ayutthaya. So Ayutthaya was the capital of Siam, and Burmese attacked Ayutthaya, and they won that battle and absolutely destroyed Ayutthaya. So what happened? They assassinated the king, and the people then had to flee, and the Thai people were then scattered back all over the country. Now Thaksin, he went down south, so he's from the Rayong area. That's where he was. Now during this time, after the Burmese, after the fall of the Ayutthaya kingdom, the Burmese didn't stick around for long. They left only a small army, and then they went north again. Now it was during this time that the Thai people, some new groups were forming, and they were led by some rebels and warlords, and Thaksin got himself an army together down in Rayong. And once he had his army together, they set sail for the Thonburi area, which is not far from where we are right now. In 1767 is when the Burmese attacked Ayutthaya and took charge of Ayutthaya. Now the Burmese weren't content on sticking around. So the Burmese, after they conquered Ayutthaya, they set sail for the north because there were some more pressing needs and more battles to be fought up in the north. And so they only left a handful of soldiers and troops there in Ayutthaya. So the Burmese army, the reason they needed to go back north was they were facing some threats from the Chinese. They needed to fight some battles there. So they only left a small troop in Ayutthaya. So whilst the Burmese were focused on battles in the north with the Chinese, this is when King Thaksin and his troops of 5,000 planned their attack. So first of all, the team of 5,000, they first of all went to Thonburi, which was ruled at the time by some warlord, and they seized control of Thonburi. After they seized control of Thonburi, they set sail for Ayutthaya, and it was in Ayutthaya where they took on the Burmese, but it was a weakened Burmese. There wasn't that many troops there, so victory was quite swift. So it was actually only 7 months from when the Burmese took control of Ayutthaya to when King Thaksin reclaimed it for Siam. Now once Thaksin and his troops took command of Ayutthaya, they then were faced with a decision. Do they rebuild Ayutthaya, or do they create a new palace somewhere else? And they chose the latter, and a couple of reasons contributed to this decision. Was first and foremost that Ayutthaya was destroyed so much that it was going to take considerable amount of time and effort and money to actually rebuild Ayutthaya. And they also presumed that the Burmese had a really good understanding of Ayutthaya. So if the Burmese were to attack again, they know all about the vulnerabilities of the kingdom in Ayutthaya. So this contributed to some of the, these were some of the reasons why Thaksin decided not to rebuild Ayutthaya, and instead he set sail back down the Chao Phraya River to Thonburi, and it was Thonburi where he decided to build his palace, build the royal palace, and to make Thonburi the capital of Siam. Now, there was another reason why he wanted to be in Thonburi as well, was because of those different warlords and different groups. There were 6 main factions within Thailand at this time, and he was concerned that anyone upstream would need weapons. So for him to build the capital and build his base in Thonburi, this would be a strategic position. So if there's anyone who was sailing upstream to deliver weapons, then he could cut them off. So he could cut the supply off. So this contributed. This was another reason why he chose Thonburi as his capital. One famous place or a well-known place is the Pepsi Pier, and it's just at the base of that building there. Now the Pepsi Pier, they have markets there regularly, and also it looks like they're setting up with a big rock show. It's a massive stack of speakers there. So this is the Pepsi Pier, which is right next to the Saphan Taksin, or Thakson Bridge. So a couple of landmarks, you'll see this is the Shangri-La Hotel. Now just down on the riverbank there's a famous bar called Jack's Bar. It's a great little spot to go for a beer or a bit of Thai food and to watch the action on the Chao Phraya River. On the other side is the massive Icon Siam. So one of the newest additions with the shopping, one of the newest shopping malls added to Bangkok. So that opened, I think it was 1919 around. That opened just a few years back, the Icon Siam, and that's a massive place. So if you're into boutique shopping or shopping in general, Icon Siam is the place for you to go and visit. But she's a mighty river here. It's full of so many stories, and we're going to explore a few today and in future videos. One small thing I'm really sad about is that Bangkok doesn't have a really good walkway along the riverbank. Yeah, if I was the Lord Mayor, that's what I'd be trying to do. December 28th, 1767, Thaksin was crowned the King of Siam at Thonburi Palace in Thonburi, which is the new capital of Siam. He was aged 34 at the time. Thaksin was a worthy successor to the throne because he ensured appropriate treatment to the remnants of the ex-royal family. He arranged a grand cremation of the King Ekatat, and tackled the problem of establishing the capital of Thonburi. However, he never really had time to build it into a great city, as he was occupied with the suppression of internal and external enemies, as well as territorial expansion throughout his reign. Because after the fall of Ayutthaya, there was disarray, followed by the rise of several warlords in Siam who were all keen on taking charge of Siam. In addition to the internal threat, there was a Burmese invasion. And during Thaksin's reign, Thaksin waged a total of 19 campaigns against the Burmese. Okay, where I'm standing here is the strong smell of urine. So I'm gonna jump on I'm gonna go over the Thaksin Bridge now, and I'm gonna head to King Thaksin Monument, which is over in Thonburi. So jump on my scooter and get a bit of fresh air, change of scenery.